Hi, I'm Miss Carlton, and today I'm doing my instructional video on opinion statements and more specifically opinion starters. Through my anticipatory set, I plan to give each student a sentence strip. Some will have opinions on them and some will have facts on them. And I will ask the students that if they think their sentence strip has an opinion to go to one side of the room. And if they think their sentence strip is a fact, to go to the other side of the room. I will then ask students to read their sentence, not all of the students, just a couple, and to see if the class agrees. And I will have sentences that butterflies form chrysalis, or I will have butterflies are pretty, and some people may think, oh, well, I think butterflies are pretty, so I know that that's a fact. So that is kind of how I will lead my students into the opinion starters. I guess I will get started. So throughout my lesson, I'm going to be creating an anchor chart based on student responses. So I will also be doing an ask and response type learning style for this lesson and for the instructional video. So there will be a lot of switching back and forth between teacher and student. So here it goes. Alright, boys and girls, so let's go ahead and grab our whiteboards and move quietly to the carpet. Good job, John, for moving quietly. Thank you, Libby. Awesome. All right, guys. So since we just sorted our sentence strips into facts and opinions, we now have our essential question on the board, which is how can I express my opinion through writing? So my first question for you guys is, what is an opinion?
An opinion is something that one person thinks.
All right, awesome job. Good job, Sarah. All right, so we have, what is an opinion? And Sarah just told us that an opinion is something that one person can think. So an opinion is what you think or what you feel. So the main difference between a fact and an opinion is that a fact can be proven. An opinion is one person's thoughts. So you can't necessarily prove your own thoughts or prove them right or wrong. So that's the best thing about an opinion is no one can ever tell you that you're wrong. My next question for you is, can people have different opinions or does everybody have the same opinion?
I think that people can have different opinions because one of the papers said that I like going to the mall and I don't like going to the mall. So I think that sometimes they can be the same, but sometimes they can be different.
All right, good job, Logan. So raise your hand if you agree with Logan. Awesome, perfect, because he is exactly right. Opinions are not always going to be the same, but they're not necessarily always going to be different. Because I might think that puppies are the best animal in the world, and Sarah might think that too, but John may think that a cat is the best animal in the world. So they can be different and they can be the same. Alright, so one of the sentences that we read while we were doing our activity was, chocolate cake is the best cake in the world, right? So who agrees that chocolate cake is the best cake in the world? I do. So not everybody raised their hand. So does that mean that some of these people are wrong or that they just have a different opinion? Exactly, they have a different opinion. And just like Logan had said, one of the things said that they like going to the mall. Well, Logan doesn't like going to the mall. So that's just an example of how opinions can be different and how opinions can be the same. Good job. All right, my friends. So now that we have figured out as a class together what an opinion is and that opinions can be different and opinions can be the same, over the next couple of days, we're going to start writing our opinions. So during writing time, we're going to work on our opinion starter, reasons, all that good stuff. So today, we are going to focus on our opinion starter. And an opinion starter is just like your opening statement. So just like we were saying, I like to go to the mall. The beach is my favorite place to be. Those are all opinion starters. So who can give me a couple examples of opinion starters? Like, how would you guys start your opinion? I like. Good job. All right. Anybody else? Julie? Oh, I like that one. My favorite thing is... Awesome. Good job, guys. I really like some of these. So, I have a question. When you're forming an opinion, is that always going to be I like, or my favorite thing is, or the best thing in the world is, or are there going to be some negative things? Like, can you say, I don't like going to the beach, or, going to the beach is not my favorite thing? Are there going to be some of those in there, or is it all going to be positive?
I think that they can be other things too. Just like how Logan was saying that he doesn't like going to the mall, that's also an opinion, so it's not always positive.
Awesome job, Sam. I really like how you referenced what Logan had said earlier about not liking the mall. So just because somebody has an opinion doesn't mean it's always going to be positive. Like my opinion, I do not like going to the beach. Not my favorite place to be, not my favorite thing to do. So it's not, I like going to the beach. It can also be negative. So I'm going to put a few things up here. So I'm going to say blank is not my favorite. Or you could say blank is the worst. Alright, so that's just a few opinion starters. So now what I want you to do is get your whiteboard and go ahead and get your marker out. And I want you to choose one of these opinion starters. So we have I like, I do not like, my favorite thing is, blank is not my favorite, and blank is the worst. So what I want you to do is find somebody that's sitting next to you and pick one of these opinion starters, tell them which opinion starter you chose, and then fill in the blank. So if Logan wants to tell Ashley his opinion, he can say, my favorite thing is to go swimming. So after Logan tells Ashley, Ashley's going to write on her whiteboard what Logan just told her. And then Ashley, you're going to tell Logan, and Logan, you're going to write what Ashley told you. All right? Everybody understand? All right, so go ahead and do that. And then we're going to check them all together, all right? All right, go. Hey guys, so that was my instructional video of opinion starters. And this is the anchor chart that I wrote on the board as I was giving my lesson, similar to what I would really do in a real classroom if I were teaching this type of lesson. So to cover guided independent practices and closure, I did a little bit of leeway into my guided practice with having the students tell each other their opinion statements and have their partner write their partner's opinion statement on the whiteboard. That was kind of my guided practice, since they were choosing one of the opinion starters that I gave them on the anchor chart. So I kind of included my guided practice into my instructional video. But that is kind of how I would do my guided practice. For my independent practice, I would have them go to their seats and take out their writing journal or whatever tool they use to write in for that class. And I would have them choose a different opinion starter. Like, they could not use anything that was on the anchor chart. They had to choose something different. And they could choose their own topic to write about, pretty much anything. And I would use that as their independent practice. So for the closure, I would pretty much go over just a little bit of what we would talk about the next day, which would be reasons for opinion. That's the next part of the opinion statement. And I would also give a little review of what we had talked about that day with opinion statements and opinion starters. And I would do that by having a couple kids share their opinion statements, and I would have students maybe tell me, after one student had read theirs, what their starter was, not necessarily what their opinion was. That way we can, as a class, see real examples of the opinion starters. And I would also have the students, like if one student said that their favorite thing to do was to bake cookies with their grandma, then I would have the students raise their hands, like, raise your hand if you like to bake cookies with your grandma too. And if some people didn't raise their hand, I could use that as an example of how people have different opinions, that the opinions can't really be proven. And that's pretty much how I would teach this lesson as a teacher. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.